Of course, this is that rematch from the 2006 finals, and only a handful of players remain for the reunion to get together and reminisce about it. Two of them are mega stars. Now, these are the regular season numbers from both the last championship final season and this. And really for Wade, you know, even with LeBron, the numbers haven't changed all that much. Haslam is certainly back now, and Dirk Nowitzki has been dazzling in the postseason. And that's where I want to start with you, Smitty, is the fact that Nowitzki's been a guy who's been so great for so long, and yet and still he's taken it to another level.
He has, and it's unbelievable to see him take his offensive ability at this late age in his career to another level. And what I like about him right now, he's not selling for jump shots. He's getting into the post. He's catching the basketball where he wants to in an area I thought is so hard to defend, so hard to double. One step off the block, he can shoot it. One dribble, he's getting into the paint. Versus when he first was early in his career, you didn't see a lot of this from Dirk Nowitzki getting to the free throw line with the bounce off the dribble, man.
No, in fact, I think his shot selection is so much better. He was taking a lot of three-point shots early in his career. He's backing people down. He's much more mature in his game, and he's playing so much better than he did even in 06.
Let's go back to the last game of the Eastern Conference Finals. And the one thing, Matt, for Wade was he was struggling along a little bit in the first half. He looked very disjointed, very disoriented, but he pulled it together 4 for 5 in the final quarter. And that shows me that he has that ability. He has the takeover, even with LeBron there.
Well, there's no question. You can slow down a great player for a little while, but you're never going to stop a player like Dwayne Wade. He's too dynamic on the offensive end. Off the pick and roll, one-on-one situations, he can get to the basket with the best of them in the NBA. And then when he's got his 10, 15-foot mid-range game going, there's no one better at the two-guard position than Dwayne Wade. And even though he struggled for the first 3 quarters, he came through when it mattered the most.
You know, I like what he did, especially piggybacking off Matt said. The stars usually come play in crunch time. And, yes, he was having a subpar game first 3 quarters, but to come up with 10 big points. But I like what he did. Not only in this entire playoffs, he's given away some of his offense, especially in that Boston Celtics series, chasing around Ray Allen, then also having to guard Derrick Rose at times. But that's the luxury they have. If Dwayne Wade's not going, he can give it off to LeBron James and let him go for a while, and both of them play off each other. And then third option, you go to Chris Bosh.
All right, let's talk about Udonis Haslem. And he was a guy that was featured in the last finals. And really, Smitty, the energy and some of the things that he has brought that can't be measured with numbers.
I don't think if UD played in the last series, I thought the Chicago Bulls series, Miami Heat series would have went 7 without the way he came in and played. The addition of a Udonis Haslem, you won't see a lot in the stat sheet. A great teammate of mine, I played with him. He does all the little things. He will take the charges. He will run the court, and he probably won't get the layup. He'll drive for the offensive rebound. He will make somebody on the opposite team have to box him out, and they give lanes for LeBron James, Bosh, and D. Wade to go rebound. He does the little things, and he loves to play defense. I like a tough guy who wants to be the glue guy.
And that really lifts your team, too, to have a presence like that come back, especially in that particular series.
Well, there's no question. You got to have a dirty guy in your team. You got to do the plays that no one else wants to do, and that's UD. He did have a good series against Chicago. He had a good game, really. Now, in this series, he's going to have to be huge for them to have a chance to beat the Dallas Mavericks. He's going to have to guard Dirk in pressure situations and not get in foul trouble, and I think that's going to be a key to the games for the finals.
Right. Once again, very different rosters for both teams. For Miami, the all-star additions. We all know how this team was put together. I asked my son today, who do you think will win in the finals? He goes, Miami. It's not fair, but Miami's going to win. I go, it's fair. They put their team together and they got themselves to the finals. And look at this. And as we talk about all of the additions, you had a tip of the hat, Smitty, of Chris Bosh in the last playoff series in the Eastern Conference Finals. And what he did reputation-wise alongside those two megastars.
You know, the games he had in that series, some huge games. He had one subpar game, I thought, in game 2. But the other games, what I liked about him, he showed some emotion. I think he started to say, hey, I got to play like I played in Toronto. And guess what? You can be a go-to guy without dominating the basketball. I thought he wanted to catch the basketball, settle for some jump shots. In this series, he caught the basketball, isolated, and probed a little bit. And then when he didn't have shots, he kicked it out, and then he got on the glass. I like what he did. And I think that was an addition of Udonis Haslem, let him roam a little bit, especially on offense.
You know, that was the Bosh that they've been waiting all year to find, and he struggled until he played in that series in the playoffs, I thought. But it was also the benefit, the lack of defense, I think, Boozer, giving him rhythm early in the game, giving a good player rhythm is always important, and I think Bosh took that, and he had a great series. But in this series, Bosh is going to be key because he's going to have to score at least 15 to 20 for them to beat the Mavericks.
All right, now the Mavericks makeover and their all-star additions that they put on the roster here, including Jason Kidd, who's like Old Man River. He just keeps on rolling along, a 10-time All-Star. But look at the other key additions below. Chandler, and certainly Barea, who's just come to life and has been fantastic in terms of driving the basketball and getting it to the
He's been a spark plug. Or you talk about J.J. Barea. Doing the things is they don't have a lot of guys that can break people down off the dribble with speed. Jason Terry can, but he's usually in with J.J. Barea. But to talk about Jason Kidd at 38 years old, they have advantage because they have a great coach in Carlisle, then they have a great coach in Jason Kidd.
He is like a coach.
He's just playing basketball. This player coach has been phenomenal, and I like what he's done. You know, people talk about Jason Kidd as a facilitator. Defensively, he's guarded Kobe Bryant in the stretch, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant. And then also in fourth quarters, Dirk is feeling really, really sound and happy to have Jason Kidd be that outlet, and he's knocked down some big shots in fourth quarters throughout this playoffs.
And now one of the big men, Matt, in Sean Marion. And I know that free throw is ugly, that form is kind of ugly, but his game is a thing of beauty too.
Yeah, if you have a young kid, you don't want to say, hey, look at this and learn from Sean Marion on shooting the ball. But I tell you what, he had a great series, and he is an X factor. He's a slasher. He's the guy that if he can hit 1 or 2 3-point shots a game, that's going to help the Dallas Mavericks. But what I like about Marion is his offensive ability to slash to the rim, and then he can post up smaller defenders and crash the offensive glass. Offensive rebounds, second possessions for the Dallas Mavericks are huge for their game and their offense. You just can't rely on Dirk, and when Dirk shoots it, you got 3 guys going for the offensive boards.
I like the veteran guys, in particular Peja Stojakovic, who has the bad back, and you can still see him wincing on the court at times. But Smitty, he's been able to play close to the floor and still be effective, not only with the threes, but also a little step drive, some little tear.
You know what? I'm going to talk about Peja's defense. I saw him get into a stance and get a couple steals. He's been doing a good job.
You're talking defense on Peja?
That's what I said. He got a steal one day, and I was watching the game, man. I almost fell out my chair. He got a pick on a Russell Westbrook, I think, or Eric Maynard, a point guard. But also he's in the court, on the floor to knock down threes. He's done a good job of that. And even if he's not knocking down three, him just being on the court spacing creates a lot of opportunities for that Dallas Mavericks offense.
That's what we're talking about, options.
And I'm going to talk offense for Peja because he has a resurgence here. Peja wasn't playing like this early in the season. All of a sudden, he's playing like the old Peja, and this is a huge benefit for the Mavericks. You're spacing, just like you said, put him in the corner. Even though if he might not make it, you still have to guard him because he has a potential to make that big shot.
Right, so he can help without really helping. Just his presence.
Just be on the floor. You're a three-point shooter.
Just like you, Smitty. Always there to help.
I don't mind. Just stand there.
I know. No, you do your job.